And joining us now, member of the House Intelligence and Oversight Committee's Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi of Illinois. And as we look ahead to testimony today, what are you hoping to hear from Gordon Sondland?
Well, thanks for having me on, Mika. Today is a big day. Gordon Sondland was a pivotal figure. He was part of a number of conversations and meetings and communications where it appears that, military assistance as well as a White House meeting were conditioned on the launch of investigations by the Ukrainians of Trump's political rivals. Up till now, there was kind of a narrative that he was one of the three amigos, but as we hear more and more from different witnesses, they appear to be pointing the finger at him and, basically kind of coming up with a one amigo defense, that he was some kind of rogue actor. And so at this point, we have a lot of questions for him.
All right, so former National Security Council Senior Director Tim Morrison yesterday, by the way, Republicans wanted him to testify, described hearing about withholding of military aid in meetings that he reported to then National Security Advisor John Bolton. Take a listen to this.
What did Ambassador Sondland tell you that he told Mr. Yermak?
That the Ukrainians would have to have the Prosecutor General make a statement with respect to the investigations as a condition of having the aid lifted.
Did you tell Ambassador Bolton about this conversation as well?
I reached out to him as well and requested his availability for a secure phone call.
And what was his response when you explained to him what Ambassador Sondland had said?
Tell the lawyers.
What did Ambassador Sondland tell you that President Trump said to him?
If I recall this conversation correctly, this was where Ambassador Sondland related that there was no quid pro quo, but President Zelensky had to make the statement and that he had to want to do it.
And by that point, did you understand that the statement related to the Biden and 2016 investigations?
I think I did, yes.
And that was essentially a condition for the security assistance to be released?
I understood that that's what Ambassador Sondland believed.
After speaking with President Trump?
That's what he represented.
Did you tell Ambassador Bolton about this conversation as well?
I did, yes.
And what did he say to you?
He said to tell the lawyers.
Holy mackerel, tell the lawyers.
Right.
Congressman, will we be hearing from Bolton anytime soon, do you think?
I don't know. As you know, Fiona Hill, as well as Mr. Morrison, as well as Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, who all worked under John Bolton, have testified. And they've given us vivid testimony about what exactly John Bolton said. Obviously, it'd be great to hear from John Bolton himself, but he's hiding behind a lawsuit or some kind of procedural maneuver where he's trying to get a court to determine that he needs to come forward. Separately, some people believe that he's trying to hold the information for a potential book deal. In any case, we're going to move forward. We're going to ask a lot of witnesses a lot of questions regardless.
Congressman, it's Willie Geist. You've got an important witness before you, just over an hour from now, Ambassador Sondland. What's at the core of what you want to know from him? He obviously has been painted by other witnesses as the man who sort of ran this shadow campaign, the ambassador to the EU, having no jurisdiction over what was happening in Ukraine, but was sort of deputized to run that operation with Rudy Giuliani. What do you want to know specifically from him this morning?
Well, I think the central question is he the one amigo rogue actor, or is he actually acting in concert with others, including the president? I just don't see him as somebody who's necessarily going to take a bullet for the team. The evidence is pretty compelling, and multiple witnesses have presented it, that Sondland is on the phone with President Trump repeatedly. He can pick up the phone and call him from virtually anywhere in the world, including Kiev, Ukraine. And, it sounds like he was potentially taking his direction from the president as he was making communications to various high-ranking officials in the Ukrainian government.
Congressman, it seems to me, Claire McCaskill here, that Sondland was part of this because the president was looking for somebody that he sensed trust and loyalty in. and that Sondland was his guy. He was a big donor. He was, clearly wanting to be close to the president. So they pulled Sondland into this, which was out of his lane, as his job description in terms of an ambassador to the EU. So I guess my question to you is, do you think your Republican colleagues on the committee will go after Sondland? The president has kind of signaled, go after him. Will this ambassador, this big donor who bought his ambassadorship, is he going to pay a price now for him getting pulled into the circle of loyalty? Do you think they're going to go after him? I mean, after they went after Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, obviously they have no shame. Will they actually attack this ambassador today?
It's quite possible. As you know, Ambassador Sondland donated almost $1 million to basically have this ambassadorship. I think maybe 6 weeks ago, Donald Trump said he's a very good man, a family guy. And then I think maybe a week ago, he said, I barely know the guy. So it appears that he's trying to distance himself from Ambassador Sondland. And as we saw yesterday, even as Lieutenant Colonel Vindman was testifying, the White House's official Twitter account was used to attack Lieutenant Colonel Vindman. I hope that the president doesn't do that today again, but it'll be a sure sign that Ambassador Sondland is getting under their skin if we see these disparaging tweets during the day, and as well as other attacks by Republicans on the committee.
All right, member of the House Intelligence Committee, Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, thank you very much. We'll be watching
Thank you so
today.
much.
And coming up.